and welcome back to the Armbar Arcade. I'm Nay, and today I'm going to be playing the Getaway for PlayStation 2. Now this is an interesting little free roaming game, set in London, which of course appeals to me since I live and work in London. And it recreates the city pretty well actually, in quite a bit of detail. You know, there's always head-on crashes into taxis in London. But really there is a great amount of detail and quite a large area that you can roam in this free roaming game. Now there is a story mode which involves Mark Hammon's son being abducted and I think his wife being murdered or also abducted, I can't quite remember, but we're going to be playing the free roaming portion of the game so that there's no pressure on us to go anywhere, do anything or really have any time limits. So right now we seem to be in a Caterham looking car. I think it's a Caterham. It might be just something very similar. You might have noticed that within the game you have the ability to use your indicators. Unlike a lot of other free roaming games, you are allowed to use your indicators as and when you wish. Which is good because there's stuff like GTA, you know, when you're trying to play it and abide by all the road rules. Not saying that going down the wrong way down a one-way street is abiding by all the road rules, but when you are trying to, it's good to be able to use your indicators and let people know your intentions. They also auto-cancel when you go around the corner, which I think is really nice because obviously that happens on a real car. Within story mode, the indicators are also used to show where objectives are, so if it's flashing right, you need to take the next right. It's in lieu of a map, which I don't think the game needed. You know, there's stuff like GTA has the map up constantly, but it's nice just to be able to roam around London, you know, on your own terms. There seem to be a lot of licensed cars in the game. There's a Mercedes we've just gone past, and another one, and the taxis, and another Mercedes, and a Lexus. See what you can spot within the course of the video. We are going to take a look at some of the secret cars if we can find them. But yeah, it's just a really nice little game. The driving feels really nice, and the roads aren't too crammed that you can just speed through London at will, which is kind of good because, oh, here we go, there's Piccadilly Circus. Very nice. Yeah, it's kind of good you can speed through London because the map is pretty large. I think you get a copy of the map in the game case, and it spans, I think, east to west through central London quite a long way. Oh, accidentally hit that lamppost there, but we're still going. An accurate depiction of London driving, of course. Just absolute chaos with a lunatic going the wrong way down the street. Ah yes, you also get helpful hints from your fellow road users. I think my favourite one, when I was young, there was one that sounded to me like a guy was just saying, "Wake up." Turned out he was saying "wanker," which obviously is a little bit different. Not one to quote. Our car also seems to be very slightly more damaged than it had been. We'll see how it goes. One interesting feature of this game is when the cars get too damaged, they really go for it. Like, if we have another big crash, I'm sure I'll be able to show you what I mean. So we're just going to head in here. Although our Caterham is spewing black smoke, we're allowed to get rid of it. Oh, what's that? Is that a Lotus Elise? It may very well be. Shall I get in it? Yes. Let's go. Oh, I've taken the side off it and crashed into their skyline, but we're away. Sort of away. Hold on. Oh, it's too powerful for me. Here we go. Now this thing can really shift. When the police aren't in our way anyway. Thanks for that. Right, now we're properly away in the Lotus Elise. This is what it's like to be driving through London in your white Lotus Elise at top speed, going the wrong way. If you've ever wondered, this is exactly what it's like. I love that the gaps between cars are just... Oh, I was going to say, they're just thin enough to fit a car through. Most of the time anyway, until there's railings. Let's commandeer a Saab instead. I know the Lotus was nice, but there's plenty of cars to play with. Can I have your Saab, mate? Well, he didn't say no. we go, indicate like a good civilian. Oh, just scraped the edge of his Saab against the railings there. Sorry, mate. It's not like he's getting it back. And murder some cones. Well, they're not cones, they're the things on pedestrian crossings, but in the spirit of Adam and his Gran Turismo Sport plays, we are going to have to murder some cones. Whee! Look at them go. This time we're going to go for the go-kart. What I do like about this, and I'll demonstrate that again just in case you missed it, is he treats it as if it's got a door. He opens and closes the door, and it's got an opening and closing sound effect, despite the fact that there is no door on a go-kart. You don't need a door on a go-kart. What would you need a door for? It's a kart. Anyway, beside the point. What if you were to take a go-kart on the streets of London? Well, this is what if you were to take a go-kart on the streets of London. It would be utter chaos. I mean, we're about as tall as all the other cars, but I can't see a thing. When I'm behind a car, I can see absolutely nothing. Even less if I crash into them. He needs my details. Well, you're not allowed my details. The pavement's a much safer place to go go-karting. For us, anyway. Aha! One of the parks. Green Park, perhaps? Hyde Park? Who cares? It's a go-kart track now! Excuse me. Drifting a go-kart there? Well, that has come to a stop, but we were briefly drifting a go-kart. Ah, some public toilets. Excellent. This truly is London. Aha! I spy a little truck. So in exchange for this tiny truck, we're going to leave him a go-kart. And we're going to go into the Royal Parks minivan. Now we seem to have a boot full of grass, which is good if you mean that kind of grass, but I think this is just grass, like normal grass. We're just going to beep these people out the way. Excuse me. We'll indicate as well, just to warn them a little more. So we're in a bus lane, but does this count as a bus? Probably not. Someone's going to be receiving some bus lane tickets, and it's not me. So there was one more car that we're going to be interested in back at the secret car hideout, and that is a TVR. Now TVRs are an excellent British car, so we just had to shoehorn them into this British game about driving in London. Of course, often people get stuck on the edge of gates in London. In fact, people quite often get stuck against invisible walls whilst driving in London. That is a thing that occurs. Now, when I say this TVR is a fast car, I really mean it. Like, this thing can move. We're just going to be nice and gentle coming out the gate here. We're going to pretend this is our TVR and that we own it. We do now, of course. The owners have kindly given us their permission to drive their TVR for the day. At least that's our excuse if anyone asks. Here we go. Cheeky little overtake there. This is how all Londoners get to work, obviously. We steal cars from our immediate neighbours and drive them as fast as possible towards our place of work whilst they smoke with the door open. It's just standard procedure for London. This is like a Monday morning rush hour. Lots of smog, accidentally running over civilians. It's all in the game plan, really. Now, for people who don't take other people's cars to work, there is one other option, and that is the good old London bus. Let's get on the bus. Let's just show our Oyster card. And of course, showing your Oyster card to the driver means that you become the driver of the bus. So here we go. We are now a London bus driver. And this is the only view you can use to drive one of these buses in the game, so we can't see quite how large our bus actually is, but we can see when we're indicating thanks to these handy indication lights. Took the corner slightly wide there. Oh, she wants to get on the bus, does she? Get on, come on, we haven't got time for you. Everyone's got to get to work. Now there are some gangs in the game, a little bit like GTA. It features the Triads, the Yardies, and some other interesting gang factions. We're also helping this person to get to work. They work inside that lamppost, is their place of work, so good to do our fellow commuter a favour there. We're just going to park it here at this convenient bus station. Obviously all London bus stations look pretty much like this, just a bit at the side of the road. Oh, we appear to have got a gun out. Oh dear. Oh, I don't know why we've done that. Oh dear. That's terribly illegal. Well, I suppose we might as well have fun in a Peugeot 106 while we can. Yeah, the handling tends to be a bit slidey around corners, but the cars generally stick to the road other than that. Just going to turn the siren off, otherwise that will get annoying. Here's another classic London landmark, the pointy thing with a churchy look to it. I'll be your tour guide for today. On the right you'll see a statue of somebody, and on the left you'll see this guy. Hello. And directly in front of us you'll see a car that we've just crashed into. It's Nay's Quick Tours of London. On the left there's a skip. If you go through the shortcut you don't have to give way, obviously, at a junction. Now of course the sky is always grey in London. This is actually by choice. London has voted grey as their most favourite colour in a 2017 poll. You can tell we're all fun lovers. Here we go, this is what I was saying about just cutting through the crowds of commuters by using the middle lane of traffic, which isn't clearly marked, but definitely does work as a quick way to work. Of course, red lights only apply to other people. Oh, okay. Yeah, we didn't quite merge successfully there, but only a small crash by London standards. This is actually the edge of the map as well. You can't go any further than that, but what you can do is take a Royal Mail van, and we're going to go on some deliveries. So if you're ever expecting a package from Royal Mail and it says, oh, it'll arrive, I don't know, 10:43 or whatever, it's usually not that specific. It's like between 10 and 11, if that, or just on a day. Anyway, this is basically what happens to your mail. It's delivered by a man who's just stolen the truck and has no idea where to deliver it to, which is why lots of things go missing. So yeah, apart from being a nice little recreation of London with some decent streets, licensed cars and stuff that you can drive around, the Getaway kind of is disappointing in story mode just because the shooting aspect isn't great. It's a bit like Driver 3. Once you get out the car, the fun stops. But whilst you're in the car, the fun's pretty good. There's a good selection of cars. Oh, that was very hard. There's a good selection of cars to drive, secret cars to find. You know, the Triads and the Yardies will attack you every now and then. You have to run away from the police and stuff. Oh, that's a nice little retro-looking thing. We'll take him. So yeah, it's kind of like the GTA London that we never got, in that, you know, you can cause a bit of chaos. It's got a nice recreation of the streets and you can drive around London. I mean, if they'd like to make a GTA with London in it that wasn't GTA London or the London missions, because that was top down, so it doesn't really count. But if they'd like to make a nice recreation of London for a new GTA game, I would say that's probably going to be the best setting, unless they do another sort of Vice City, and we're just going round and round here. See if we can donut round this tree. No, we can't. Oh. Also, it's quite easy to just get hit by a car, and that is literally it. Unless you press the restart button, of course. So, one last thing to show you about the Getaway is the final state of damage that the cars end up in if you really, really bang them up. So what we've got to do is have some big crashes and get this car damaged beyond repair. Aha, here we go. So in GTA, when your car's on fire, you get out and it explodes. In the Getaway, when your car's on fire, you burn to death unless you get out very, very quickly. Anyway, on that morbid note, we're going to leave it there for the Getaway on the Armbar Arcade. Leave in the comments your favourite kind of lesser known games for big consoles. So this was on PS2, but it seems to be one of the lesser known free roaming games. Leave a like if you like this video. Hit that big red button and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in the Armbar Arcade.